Hello guys and girls, and welcome to another episode of How We Roll. This is episode number 9, but who's counting? Apparently only me. I'm your host B. In this episode, I'm going to be doing the music tag / challenge. Now, this challenge is probably one of the most popular challenges or tags on YouTube. Everyone is doing it, so stay tuned because you're about to find out my taste in music and what I like to listen to, and hopefully this will give you a better insight of who I am and what I like. So here we go. First question. Favorite band or musician at the moment? I'd have to say Ed Sheeran. He's one of those musicians that I never really took any notice of. I always saw his music listed in the iTunes store, but it never really grabbed my attention. I never really clicked on any of his albums to listen to samples or anything. You know, I just thought that he was just like any other contemporary upcoming artist. I was pleasantly surprised. He's got some really good songs out there. That man is talented. He can sing. I love his first, I think it's his first album, the X album. Songs like Thinking Out Loud and Don't, Photograph, One really grabbed my attention. It was refreshing and nice to see. Good on him for producing good music. Moving on to question number 2. Favorite movie soundtrack. If you know me, you know that I love movies. I'm a movie buff. I love how movies are produced. I love movies behind the scenes and trying to understand how and why a certain story goes in such a direction that's kind of like confusing at first. My favorite movie soundtrack is Clint Mansell's Requiem for a Dream. Now, that movie is one to watch. I really believe that soundtrack complements the movie very well. If you haven't seen Requiem for a Dream, I suggest you go check it out. It is amazing. It really feels psychedelic and it really feels like it's out of the box and something new. Well, it was at the time, and I really love movies that challenge the way a person thinks and tests your mindset, emotions. Jared Leto is one spectacular actor. I've always loved his work. Urban Legends, amazing, in Requiem for a Dream, and his most recent work, Dallas Buyers Club. I think that Jared is one of those actors that is able to capture the attention of his audience and really bridge that gap that we sometimes find between a role and audience. You know, sometimes movies you're not able to really emotionally connect to the characters on screen, and therefore you struggle to relate to what's happening or enjoy the endurance of characters. Jared is just one of those people that is able to stimulate that connection, to form that connection with his audience and whatever role he's playing. I really commend him for that, and I really hope to see him in future movies. So yeah, Clint Mansell's Requiem for a Dream. Go check the movie out, listen to the soundtrack. I can't preview for obvious reasons on YouTube, copyright infringement and such. If you want to listen to it, you will find an annotation on screen that will take you to the soundtrack itself. So enjoy the movie, enjoy this track. Moving right along to question number 3. Name one band or musician you've always come back to. Without a doubt, I'm going to say Eminem. I think he's the only artist that I've really held on to since the start of his career. I've always admired him for his lyrical flow and the way he works with words. I think it's amazing. I've loved the way he works. Every album apart from Encore and possibly Relapse, fell in love with. The guy knows his way around words, and he definitely deserves to be where he's at now, and I commend him for that. It's amazing. He is what Vanilla Ice should have been, or was trying to be. Yeah, Eminem. Question number 4. What's the most embarrassing song in your iTunes library? I was praising Eminem only a few seconds ago, but I also said that there are some tracks of his that I didn't like. And unfortunately, one of those tracks is going to be the answer for this question. It comes from his Encore album, Big Weenie. I realized that Encore came from a time when Eminem was really struggling with life. I just feel that album was produced and released on a whim. He was bored, he was high, he wanted to make money, he wanted to be back in the spotlight, he wanted to be back in the game. So Encore was born, and to be honest, from then on I was really skeptical of Eminem. I wasn't sure where his career was heading from that point, and it really made me think, okay, maybe this is the end. At least now you know that I'm not biased. I can be a fan and I can criticize too. So yeah, question number 5. Top 3 songs that are most played in your iTunes library. Number 1, Eminem, Difficult. This track didn't really get an official release on an album. It was, one of those underground tracks, and it really portrays the friendship that he had with his late best friend, Proof. I remember listening to the song for the first time, and it actually brought a tear to my eye. it's so overwhelmingly real. You really begin to understand how their friendship was formed, how it all began, and you really feel what Eminem is feeling when it comes to the loss of his best friend and band member. Proof. If you want to listen to any of the tracks that I've highlighted in this episode, you can find them in an annotation on screen or in the description below. Number 2, Bon Jovi, Bed of Roses. I realized this is a huge contrast with my last selection being a hip hop track, and now this one, something from rock. But I just really liked that song. I always thought that Jon Bon Jovi had a voice. I always believed that he could sing, and I like that track. I think it really says something. If that isn't anything to go by, then maybe the guitar solo is. I love the electric guitar. I love the way it sounds. If I'm listening to rock, that is probably one of the first things that I'd want in a song, is a solid guitar solo. If you wanted me to name a guitarist, I'd have to say Joe Satriani. I love the way he works with his guitar. The sound that comes from those strings, for me, are a form of lyric. It's lyrical. It's words to a song, and I just love that he is able to create such strong emotion with just one instrument. As I said before, I really appreciate music for that fact. So yeah, Joe Satriani all the way. Song number 3, You Really Got a Hold on Me by The Miracles. I love Motown. I think it's a musical era that should never be forgotten, should be relived, reincarnated in some way. Of course, you can never imitate the originals. Of course, there are other generations of music that should also be commemorated. Artists like Elvis Presley and AC/DC, way back when. I love the way You Really Got a Hold on Me portrays love. You can really feel the emotion. It's mellow, it's deep, and you can feel and see the genuine desire one person has for another, and you can relate to it. It's something that everyone can relate to in some way, and I love that. That's it, guys and girls, for this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you want me to do the second variation of this tag, which has a different set of questions. Leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I will be seeing you in the next episode. This is B signing out.